This episode is brought to you by Kia's first 3-row all-electric SUV, the Kia EV9, with available all-wheel drive and seating for up to 7 adults, with a 0 to 60 speed that thrills you 1 minute and available reclining lounge seats that unwind you the next. Visit kia.com/EV9 to learn more. Ask your Kia dealer for availability. No system, no matter how advanced, can compensate for all driver error and or driving conditions. Always drive safely.
I'm Mo Rocca, and I'm excited to announce Season 4 of my podcast, Mobituaries. I've got a whole new bunch of stories to share with you about the most fascinating people and things who are no longer with us. From famous figures who died on the very same day, to the things I wish would die, like buffets. All that and much more. Listen to Mobituaries with Mo Rocca wherever you get your podcasts.
This episode is brought to you by State Farm. From your morning podcast to your afternoon playlist, State Farm knows you personalize your entire day, and that's why State Farm helps you personalize your insurance with the State Farm Personal Price Plan. It offers coverage options that help protect what you care about most at an affordable price just for you. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Prices vary by state. Options selected by customer. Availability and eligibility may vary.
Pablo, while I appreciate seeing you in all your glory with your succulents and whatever the fuck those plants are called in the background, the video's unnecessary.
Yeah, this feels like I just wandered into a peep show that I am performing.
This is chat roulette. I think this is what we
is chat roulette still a thing?
Yes.
So yeah, we did that on the mailbag, right? We did it on the mailbag, like, I don't know, last year or something like that, where they had me check out chat roulette, and the first guy that came up was masturbating.
I was gonna say, let me turn this video off before someone whips all of it out.
The irony is, given that you're the only one on video, the only person at risk of pulling it out would be you, Pablo.
I mean,
maybe owners said, hey, no more high school kids because we can't keep ourselves from drafting them, right? Like sometimes you got to keep yourself from yourself.
Whatever I was about to do would definitely set off those like biometric sensors everyone's wearing now to prevent you from doing basically this around other people.
Oh, I see all Pablo's friends have the vaccine then, if everyone's got these biosensors.
Oh, yeah.
No, the NBA is making people wear sensors. Did you not see this news?
Oh, that's right.
Tracking. Yeah. The best part, Pablo, is we did a 3-hour radio show, Zach and I, about an hour ago.
Didn't mention it once.
Didn't mention that or TJ Warren being out for the year. Like neither of those.
TJ Warren's out for the year?
Really? I didn't know that part.
I didn't see that.
Is that not news? Did I just break news? It's a good thing we're not recording.
Welcome to Cinephobe.
Okay, now it's all on the record, Pablo. So anything you say or do can and will be used against you in a court of podcasts.
I am doing several prosecutable things right now, so I appreciate that warning.
I'm glad the video is off then.
Same. Although at the same time, kind of curious.
Let me flash it right back on. Hold on.
Oh, that's a dick.
What's amazing about that is that it's a real, it's a good burn, a double entendre, and also a reference to my penis.
Your pics have been horrible, man.
It's the point. That's the point of the show. Isn't it? Isn't it? It's possible. I don't understand what this podcast is about.
Poppycock. It's a fuck house. On a weekly basis, we are consuming more concentrated bad movies than probably anybody in the history of mankind.
Poppycock. What story? What story? What are you talking about?
Do you want lunch?
I have yet to laugh in this movie. I'll just tell you that.
You picked it, motherfucker. So just remember that.
You know what the problem with Hollywood is? They make shit. Unbelievable, unremarkable shit.
I was legitimately offended.
You were offended?
I was offended.
I didn't know you could get offended.
I was offended.
This did it.
If I were gay, I wouldn't be offended.
They're fucking making shit up, Amin.
Inconsequential detail after inconsequential detail after inconsequential detail.
Bees don't lie.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm holding a mic in my hands, and now I'm talking all alone.
Welcome to Cinephobe, the podcast where we break down the movies you're afraid to admit you love. I'm Zach Harper. That's Amin Hassan. That's Anthony Mayes, who's producing the show. By the way, patreon.com/countthedings. Make sure you get all that good extra content, including, we've had a lot of extra content right here from Cinephobe. We had the first 25 movies we did the Golden Dumpsters for those to catch up.
Yep.
We did the old Christmas episode with 4 Christmases. Christmas Eye.
Yep.
Go check out our game show that we did then.
Yep.
Patreon.com/countthedings.
We have to do part 2, right?
Oh, yeah. Oh, we can go again. Absolutely.
Going again for the recent ones. And by the way, I got to say, feeling a lot more confident.
Oh, get the fuck out of here. You were so bad in it. I was so bad in it. I'm not feeling confident about it.
I feel very confident.
I feel confident I'll beat you, but that's it.
You didn't beat me the first time.
Didn't I?
Did you?
If you have a submission, reminder, it needs to be 40% or lower on Rotten Tomatoes for the audience score or the critic score. We're doing our new thing in 2021 where we have a theme for each month. Unless you guys hate it, and then we'll scrap the idea. But so far, I think we're gonna do this thing.
Mays has already plotted out his picks for 2021.
I know, he's already got them all. January is Nick Cage month. That's right, we're in the cage the whole month of January. This week on Cinephobe, as we kick off Cage Month, we watched the 2020 action sci-fi Jiu Jitsu. Jiu Jitsu stars Nicolas Cage. This is Cage for the 7th time on Cinephobe. What a run for Nick Cage right now, okay? 2019, he had A Score to Settle, Color Out of Space, Running with the Devil, Primal, and Grand Isle.
All I hear is movies that we haven't done yet on Cinephobe and movies that we have done.
Yo, Running with the Devil, I want to do. I want to do Running with the Devil. I read the synopsis. I haven't seen it.
Are we sure we're not doing Cage Year?
Hey, I can do a whole Cage year if we want.
That's a lot. That's 50 movies now.
I got 52 of those things. I would love to do that. Running with the Devil, I think, has our man Cole Hauser. It has Barry Pepper. It has Lawrence Fishburne. And it has Nick Cage.
Nigga.
What?
Whoa.
What did you just say? 2020 had Jiu Jitsu and The Croods, A New Age. And, of course, Prisoners of the Ghostland comes out in 2021.
And Pig, right?
We also get Alan Moosey from Kickboxer Vengeance, and he did stunts in X-Men Apocalypse and Suicide Squad.
And Kickboxer Retaliation.
Vengeance and Retaliation, aren't those kind of the same thing?
No, not necessarily. I think Retaliation is like, you hit me, I hit you. Vengeance is like, you killed my family, I kill your family.
Oh, so it's not necessarily personal, like as far as I did not receive the blow.
Yeah, it's a rectangle square situation. Vengeance is a form of retaliation, but not all retaliation is vengeance.
We also get Frank Grillo from Captain America Winter Soldier.
Crossbones.
I don't remember him from those movies. I didn't know he was in them.
Winter Soldier?
I hate Captain America, so I've kind of checked out on all those.
What about Civil War?
I mean, I've seen that one. That one I remember more, but clearly don't remember him.
He's in like the opening scene of that.
Yeah, it starts in Nairobi. And there's a bombing of like a U.S. embassy or something. And he's one of the guys that's the mastermind behind it because now it's all out in the open.
Okay.
The Hydra is all up. Yeah.
We doing jiu-jitsu or we doing these nerd movies?
I'm just saying.
Okay.
Like, I mean, look, fuck, it was a great-ass movie. Oh, by the way, Winter Soldier was fucking amazing.
I hated it. I hated it.
You hated Winter Soldier.
I don't like Captain America. I could give a fuck about someone named Bucky. So, like, it just did nothing for me.
Bucky was a fucking great character.
Oh, God, no, I hate him. I hate the way his face looks. Like, I'm out on him. I'm glad he lost his arm. Spoiler alert.
Sebastian Stan. I stand for Sebastian.
He's also in The Purge Anarchy. Purge Anarchy, I'm in on.
The seaweed is always greener.
And he's also in Billions.
I stand for a lobster named Sebastian.
I fell off of Billions. I think he showed up in this season.
The creator of Billions. Whose name escapes me.
He's been on
Brian
Koppelman. Brian Koppelman, yes. He was on Bomb. He was on Growing Up the Same. So go ahead and check out Bomb. Growing Up the Same. It comes out every Friday.
Woo.
Count the Things Network.
There we go. All right. We also get Rick Yoon, who's Johnny Tran from Fast and the Furious.
Still looks the same.
Still looks the exact same. Oh my God.
I thought it was Johnny Tan from not Risky Business. What's the name of the movie? I just woke up from a nap. What's the name of the movie with Chris Tucker and Jackie Chan?
Rush Hour?
Rush Hour 2. I thought it was Ricky Tan from Rush Hour 2.
Oh my God. Do you need some coffee or something before we keep going through this? Are you good?
There's all kinds of weird future callbacks we could do right now.
I know, because here's the thing. We'll peel this window back. That's not insane.
Coca-Cola. I need Coca-Cola.
Pablo's on this. We already recorded the Pablo part, so we're recording the front of this podcast last, which is really weird.
Also, I need Coca-Cola.
2021, just redefining Cinephobe.
Tony Jaa from the Ong Bak franchise.
Tony Jaa from everything.
Well, he's not in everything. He's not in Wizard of Oz.
He's in everything.
He's in Wizard of Oz?
Yes, he is. He's one of the flying monkeys.
He's also in Furious 7 and XXX Return of Xander Cage.
Juju Chan from Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, Sword of Destiny.
Oh, I love the work he does on social media for Levitard.
It's Juju Gotti.
Oops.
Yeah.
Long Juju.
Jiu Jitsu is directed by Dimitri Logotheris. He directed Kickboxer Retaliation in 2018, and he has been directing shitty things since 1987.
Whoa! I described this movie as, what if you took a standard Hollywood budget and gave it all to stuntmen and said, here, make a movie.
They did that. It was called John Wick, and it was fucking amazing.
It's actually a really good idea if you do it right.
Yeah, it's a great idea if you put the right people in it. He also wrote this movie, and he has written Kickboxer Retaliation, Kickboxer Vengeance, and Wings of the Dragon. We also have a writing credit on the screenplay from Jim McGrath, who wrote Kickboxer Retaliation.
Bloodbath?
3 episodes of Simon and Simon.
From Wild Wild West?
And 1 episode of Matlock.
Simon and Simon, oh man, one of the great, I'm talking about the all-time great intro songs ever. Maze, do you know the Simon and Simon?
No.
You've never watched Simon and Simon?
No.
Really?
No.
It's great. What a banger.
Hand claps coming. Ba-na-na-na. Ba-na-na-na. Ba-na-na-na.
Here's a future callback, Maze. Would it have been great if Amin was this locked in for the rest of the episode?
I can't tell if he's more locked in or not. Is this better or worse?
He's all over the place, but at least he's talking at the right times.
Have you ever seen on Adult Swim, they used to do this thing called The Greatest Event in the History of Television? And it was Adam Scott. And he would take opening theme songs from 80s TV shows, and they would completely redo the opening credits that had a lot of action shots and the song. But the Simon and Simon one is the one that I always remember because it's fucking hilarious.
Synopsis for Jiu Jitsu. Every 6 years, an ancient order of jiu-jitsu fighters joins forces to battle a vicious race of alien invaders. But when a celebrated war hero goes down in defeat, the fate of the planet and mankind hangs in the balance.
A celebrated what?
That is an excerpt from the script.
That's what IMDb has.
Because there was... What?
Yeah, I don't know. It's
No, neither celebrated nor war nor hero came up in the script. In the movie, actually.
No tagline for this one. So what would be a tagline you guys would like to apply to this?
Brax respects jiu-jitsu.
My tagline would be jiu-jitsu. We don't have that here.
Mm.
There's no jiu-jitsu in this movie.
That would work for Troll 2 as well.
$25 million estimated budget.
Unreal.
$25 million. I mean, a lot of that's got to be Cage, right?
I'm sorry, how much?
$25 million.
Okay, let's say Cage got 5?
Yeah, he had to have gotten at least 5.
For 3 days' work, future callback?
Have you ever seen the meme? I believe it's Mekhi Phifer, but I'm not sure. But it's a black dude.
Oh, then it's Mekhi Phifer.
Who looks very stressed, and he's smoking a cigarette. He's face palming while holding the lit cigarette. Like, you know the meme I'm talking about?
No.
If you search black guy cigarette stress.
That's a trap. That's a trap.
No, it's not. Trust it.
There's an Aloe Black song called $1 Million a Day.
Aloe Black seems to love to sing about dollars, doesn't he?
Well, he started with one.
He needs $1.
And then all of a sudden he needs $1 million a day.
Oh my God. Relax there, buddy.
Cage did better than that.
Yeah, 1.6.
Is this actually Mekhi Phifer?
I believe it is Mekhi Phifer. I think it is.
What?
It's Mekhi Phifer.
Okay. No gross U.S. numbers on this, at least from what I could find, but I did find $52,000 worldwide, so I don't know what the fuck's going on.
Yeah. $51,131. But it was the 8th most rented title on Apple TV in its debut weekend, which was November 20th, 2020.
Wow. Okay.
Top 10!
Top 10, baby. It's a top 10 movie, obviously. Before we jump into the rest of this movie, you can rent it. Part of the rental wars for Jiu Jitsu. Jiu Jitsu receives 31% from the critics on 35 reviews on Rotten Tomatoes, 71% from the audience on 229 ratings. Amin, would you like the positive or the negative reviews?
79% on audience reviews? Is that right?
71.
Oh, give me positive.
Wow, everybody's just thinking about the negative. Well, I think the glass is half full. Everybody thinks it's half empty.
Rob Hunter of Film School Rejects. Jiu-Jitsu is nonsense, but action fans will be satiated by a talented cast kicking butt across fairly nondescript landscapes.
How am I going to drive home?
What?
I don't know. Matt Conway of Battle Royale with Cheese. Logothetis utilizes the kitchen sink of B-movie staples and infuses them into one gleefully dopey popcorn movie.
What do they call the Whopper?
I don't know. I didn't go to Burger King. Dan Jackson of Thrillist.
Action Jackson.
Jiu-Jitsu gets the most important aspects of a junkie movie, like this right.
I'm sorry, a what movie?
A junkie movie.
Did any of us do heroin while watching this?
Travis Hopkins of Punch Drunk Critics. If nothing else, Jiu-Jitsu deserves credit for not being another boring car chases and big explosions action flick.
They ain't lying. There are no car chases and there are no big explosions.
There's one big explosion, spoiler alert.
There's a lot of Fast and Furious experience in the cast, and I'm shocked there was no car.
Patrick Bromley of F This Movie. Entertainingly insane and insanely entertaining, Jiu-Jitsu is bonkers action cinema of the highest order.
F This Review.
Brent McKnight of The Last Thing I See. A low-budget sci-fi action movie where Nicolas Cage and a bunch of cinematic badasses use martial arts to fight aliens. This is exactly the movie promised for good and ill.
Aliens?
With an S?
Yeah.
His name is Brax. He has respect.
Keith Phipps of Polygon. Once it kicks into gear, it never feels like a waste of viewers' time.
I feel like Keith is telling Phipps right there.
The once it kicks into gear, though, implies that it has a while where it's not in gear.
Well, I would say the first 40 minutes, at least.
You see, Phipps is another word for lying, and so I just imply that Keith is lying with his review there.
Negative reviews.
At this point of time, my thought on critics not liking stuff is, then turn it off, you fucking weirdo. You have so many options. People who watch an entire project to hate on it, man, it is so weird to me.
Stephen Procopi of Third Coast Review.
I thought negative reviews was the name of the reviewer. I was like, who's this guy? The new entry.
It's so much that it all starts to blur in your mind, and so much that you completely lose track of the story and who the characters are meant to be.
Yeah.
Peter Bradshaw of Guardian. The action sequences are weirdly extended and bland, like gameplay action from a first-person game. That's accurate.
Assassin's Creed.
Does that make them bland, though?
Joel Harley of Starburst.
Like the candy company?
I don't know. I think so. Might be. Maybe they're doing reviews on the back of these things.
I was going to make a now later joke after you were done.
Wait, you didn't?
No, because May stole the thunder.
You decided to do it now instead of later?
Hey. For Cage completists and fans of 80s action, it's worth a shot, but Jiu-Jitsu is a hash of badly managed ideas, technical flaws, and Predator ripoffs.
I like the acknowledgement of Cage completists out there. It's a thing.
Given that we've already recorded this episode, I just want to point out, I'm shocked that we didn't continuously hammer in the point that this is one massive Predator ripoff.
I said it early on.
I mean, we mentioned it.
We say it quite a few times. It's just the problem is Amin wasn't listening to us.
Zach says Predator Vision at least 5 times.
At least.
We mentioned it in passing. Just in passing.
I think Pablo does.
I'm surprised no one got the I like Predator 2, the original, not the sequel, off.
I love that movie. That movie being horrible bosses too, not.
Sean Monroe of Flickering Myth. A few fun fights notwithstanding, this kitschy B movie is undermined by both its embarrassingly cheap visual effects and the disappointingly scant presence of Nicolas Cage.
Yep.
I could have used more Cage for sure.
He wanted more Cage.
Who doesn't?
Earlier Cage. I thought we had a nice amount of Cage. It was just
40 minutes in, spoiler alert. Jay Hurtado of Screen Anarchy.
Who Hurtado you?
An Adderall-addled mess of a film that attempts to scratch a gonzo action itch that would be better served by hitting up a playlist of stunt demo reels on YouTube.
Other than the alliteration, there was no Adderall addling in this movie.
No, not at all.
No one was on Adderall.
There was gonzo, which I learned years ago, basically be the original term for POV porn. Gonzo porn.
It's because that Muppet was a real freak.
Yeah, I always thought about Gonzo as a Muppet, right? Like, I didn't know, like...
Well, he's got a dick for a nose.
But does he ever have the camera right above it?
Well, he's got his eyes right there.
Yeah.
POV.
So if you put a dick right under the camera... Okay, I got you.
Well, you're locked in today. I gotta say, for those listening, about, 4 minutes from now, don't expect this energy from Amin, but it's fantastic right now.
New year, new Amin.
The Adderall wears off, spoiler alert.
John Anderson of Wall Street Journal. Nicolas Cage has worn a lot of things on his head over the years, but the Burmese fisherman's bonnet we glimpse at the beginning of the action-adventure romp, Jiu Jitsu, is something new. It's one of the few things in the movie that is.
What a missed opportunity to reference the paper hat.
Oh, I know. Oh, God, spoiler alert again. Simon Abrams of RogerEbert.com. The makers of Jiu Jitsu should have gone full Sharknado and admitted they're banking hard on Cage's anything goes image.
I think that was pretty clear.
Didn't they?
I thought so too.
They put him on the cover of like everything, like the poster, the movie.
Yeah.
Also, did it not go Sharknado with like at least the special effects?
I don't know. No, because Sharknado is very aware of itself. Jiu-Jitsu is not.
You don't think Jiu-Jitsu is aware of itself?
No, I do not.
I guess Sharknado is like campier.
Mark Savlov of Austin Chronicle. Jiu-Jitsu's weakest link may be its lousy fight choreography, which is shot wide and low with stunt doubles who seem like they could really use a good nap.
Speaking of good naps...
I got two more. Hold on. Mark Dushik.
Oh.
This douchebag.
Of Mark Reviews Movies.
Not Dushik Reviews Movies. Never that.
Working with nothing but cliches and a wholly ripped off premise, Jiu-Jitsu has little to do but run around in circles.
What are the cliches?
And then Mark LaSalle of San Francisco Chronicle.
Back-to-back Marks.
You're so fucking Stugatz in this episode right now. I can't even tell you. Cage's latest film, Jiu Jitsu, must represent his career worst. And keep in mind, this is the man who made 1989's Vampire's Kiss, in which he ate a cockroach.
I miss Vampire's Kiss, man.
Well, what a fantastic opening to this episode. We are now joined for the breakdown of Jiu Jitsu by ESPN's Pablo Torre.
You know you already did that.
I mean, this would be where you play the fucking music. Are you kidding me?
The new theme song for Cinephobe.
Just another show's fucking theme song?
You gotta watch the side by side. You have to. It's brilliant.
And now, as promised, the man you heard in the cold open, one Pablo Torre of the ESPN podcasting empire. Pablo, thank you for joining this Jiu-Jitsu breakdown on Cinephobe.
I have so many thoughts that I just interrupted your introduction for me. This is the first thing I did in the year 2021.
That's a sign of things to come, I'm sure.
Not kiss your wife, not hug your child, none of those things.
Honestly, like, I'm trying to do the math here. I finished watching it about 45 minutes ago. So I've done so much more thinking about jiu-jitsu than I have, I think, loving my actual family so far.
That's incredible. You've spent more time watching Nick Cage do jiu-jitsu without ever moving his hips than you have.
Here's the question I have for Pablo. We made the decision months ago that jiu-jitsu was going to be on the docket. Also, months ago, Pablo expressed a strong desire to be on Cinephobe if it were for the movie Jiu-Jitsu. Pablo, what was it about Jiu-Jitsu that made you say, this is it. This is the one I want to do?
I want to be very clear about this. I chose this movie, which is named Jiu-Jitsu, for no reason associated with the actual art of Jiu-Jitsu. And let me tell you, I left Jiu-Jitsu with no more experience, understanding, appreciation of Jiu-Jitsu than I had entering the movie. Was there any Jiu-Jitsu in Jiu-Jitsu?
Yes.
There's a complaint about the trailer, whereas like there's no Jiu-Jitsu in the trailer, and I'm thinking, yeah, you save that for the movie, right? You flash him with Nick Cage, here's an alien and all this stuff, some fighting, and then you save the Jiu-Jitsu montage and demonstration for the movie itself, but I mean, that didn't happen.
There's one small scene, and maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I don't know jiu-jitsu, but there was one small scene where I was like, oh, there it is right there. And then it was gone like that. Gone in 60 seconds, if you will.
Can you just imagine the hubris? Like somehow jiu-jitsu was on the board. It was still available as a movie title. Like no one had claimed it. And the first people to claim jiu-jitsu as the name of their movie did this.
Well, Predator was taken.
Predator's taken. And also, like, it'd be like if Jaws was a movie about like something with killer toenails, right? Like, but they took the name Jaws.
It would be like if Star Wars only took place like in a jungle, and that was it.
Right.
Oh my! I mean,
and there were
haven't even talked about
Let's get into it, guys. Amin,
the alien.
What's your first note?
My first note is, oh, that's a hookah coal.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about?
I know exactly.
The comet, as it heads to Earth, looks exactly like a lit hookah coal. And nothing more, nothing less. You just took it and floated it.
More than that, though, it was literally a hookah coal that they needed because the production budget for the comet was the size of one hookah coal.
Well, I mean, in the last movie we did have for Troll 2, instead of any kind of lightning CGI, they just flashed a drawing of lightning on the screen when they needed a storm. So this is a slight upgrade from that technology. My first note is this a comic book?
Marvel Cinematic Universe.
You know what? Like, here's the thing. Do you guys remember the original Hulk movie that Ang Lee directed?
Oh, yeah.
That had Eric Bana in it?
Yeah, banger.
In terms of a visual project, a comic book movie that literally looks like a comic book, I was so blown away. To this day, I know everybody hates it, but I have a special place in my heart for Hulk.
Back to jiu-jitsu. A comet is floating towards Earth, and my next note, I'm actually not sure what's happening here.
No.
We zoom down from space into a jungle as someone runs away from some flying blades.
Second consecutive movie that starts with running through the forest.
My next note is, wait, is this the Predator?
No, he's not running away from flying blades. He's running, and then someone drew, very crudely I might add, flying blades. To fly, but for him not to react to at all.
No one reacts to him in this movie.
No, yeah, spoiler alert.
They might as well just be mosquitoes.
It's almost as if they're not good at pretending that they're really there.
Especially with this guy.
Those flying things, to add to Amin's point, also kind of a ripoff of that scene in Wild Wild West.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes! Former Cinephobe.
Yeah, man. The magnetic collar metal disc thing. Like, this is that, but somehow with even worse CGI, despite coming out like 20 years later.
The guy's running away and he's wearing a cape, but then the cape's gone all of a sudden. He jumps off a cliff into a water as a blade hits him, and he cracks his head on a rock. And we go back to the comic book panels as the credits roll, and he's sinking into the ocean. The comet's coming towards Earth. I think this is a genius way to save on CGI in productions. You just draw comic book panels for exposition.
I went the opposite way. I said, why do low-budget movies insist on CGI? Because they literally could have taken one shuriken, thrown it into a tree, have it hit the tree and zoom in on that as he's running past, and it would have achieved the same desired effect with a lot more realism than drawing it in and having him never asking him, you know what, Pablo, you blame the actors. I'm going to blame the director. He should have asked the actors to start dodging so sharply and suddenly mid-through run, because then you can later on CGI.
What if he did and that was the best thing he could do?
That is awesome. Also, he jumps off the cliff into the water, hits his head on a rock that is very shallow. Legit, this is my fear of every cliff jump. Every time I'm like, that looks cool, I always say, what if there's a rock right there, like an inch below the surface of the water? And that's why I'll never do cliff jumps.
I'm always worried the rock's going to be in there waiting to hit me. You know, just Dwayne Johnson just sinking underwater, and then all of a sudden, boom, punches me right there.
I thought you meant the 1996 film featuring Sean Connery and
Nicolas Cage. Wow. It's his month.
You son of a bitch. Is it racist that I thought you were going to make a Charles S. Dutton reference?
You're the man now, dog.
Not from that movie.
To foreshadow here, I think there's a lot of amazing racial implications in the movie.
Oh my gosh.
Jiu Jitsu.
So much so.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
I know. I'm holding on.
Future callback.
Future callback. All right, we got Nick Cage on a boat. He's wearing a dope hat.
Wearing the fuck out of that hat.
He got introduced. It was and Nicolas Cage. He got the and.
Oh, yeah.
It's a sign of respect.
Absolutely.
Always remember, if you ain't first, you're last.
He's got a flashlight. He sees a body floating in the water. It appears to be alive. And then next thing you know, they throw that body on a bamboo table. Nick Cage is nowhere to be found. They're stitching him up. They were about as supportive of his neck when they threw him on the table as the Flint Tropics were of Jackie Moon when he had hit the ground and they were carrying him to the locker room.
Absolutely dropping the stretcher, carrying him off the field as has happened in like soccer games and stuff. They did not give a shit.
A woman tells the man to take him to the U.S. soldiers. He doesn't want to because the fish will spoil. So she brings him to the soldiers herself. And we get Tex, played by Freddie Steeples from My Name is Earl and Torque.
It was him.
These subtitles are using multiple colors and it's very distracting.
It's
almost as if the word that's a different color was mad-libbed in.
Why is there fonting?
John Wick does it, but does it in a way that makes sense.
It wasn't literally in Comic Sans, but it felt like it was all in Comic Sans.
I don't remember the name of this movie, but I know that Mike Myers was in it, and it was about people trying to be airline attendants.
Oh, View from the Top? Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
But I just remember the one line from Mike Myers where he says,
"Ass is the window."
Okay, stop. Stop.
What?
It's assess the window, not ass is the window. You put the wrong emphasis on the wrong syllable.
That was my note as I'm seeing the fonting and the weird colorization of certain words. I said they're putting the emphasis on the wrong syllable.
Tex is asked to translate for the soldiers what the woman is saying. So he says, "Hey, woman, what you saying?" And it says, "She ain't saying shit, Sarge." He's not a good interpreter.
Can I just point out also, like, the guy who commands Tex, like the general, is a very unconvincing general. Like, he doesn't seem to have any of the, I don't, maybe this is only something that I really noticed, but I was like, yeah, that's not a guy who has ever played like a general in a movie before. Slouched over.
Yeah,
like,
didn't have a strong chin, which I expect out of a general.
Very weak chin. Yeah. That's my point.
She explains that this is happening because of a comet, and Tex thinks that she says that he got hit by a comet.
Once every 6 years, a comet delivers exposition.
Yeah. Nurse Exposition explains that 6 years a comet comes to Earth, hole opens inside a temple, warriors of death come through the hole. Tex doesn't understand it properly, thinks she said that he has a hole in his temple.
Because temple is the same word in Burmese and in English. It means both things. In Burmese, it also means the side of your head and also a place of worship. I don't know if you guys know that.
Turns out Burmese for dummies not working out for Tex. That's not a joke I had. That's a joke they wrote.
Mm-hmm.
He says he likes women with thick thighs, and she says they're all dead. And then an ominous man is shown.
I, too, love women with thick thighs.
I mean, who doesn't? If you're being honest.
Alec Baldwin.
Intelligence asks this guy his name. She's interrogating him. She says she's good at what she does, but she's actually kind of terrible at it.
She's aggressively not good.
Yeah, she doesn't get much out of this dude.
No.
Okay, so I wrote two notes, and one of them is I think everyone's going to agree with. This woman is a terrible actor.
Yeah.
But the other one, I'm not proud of. And it took me about 3 or 4 minutes of watching it before I put this
boy.
down in the notepad. I said, I have to write it. And I make all apologies to all offended parties. I called her Angry Katie Nolan.
Wow.
Oh my God.
Wow.
I don't know. She just looked like Katie if she were mad all the time.
Again, this is an we all look alike situation for Amin, which is a common theme on this podcast.
Wait, we're talking about the intelligence officer, quote unquote.
Yes.
I know why you're here. Like that woman?
She brags about having access to fingerprints, which I didn't think was a big deal.
She also is an intelligence officer because she has a patch that literally said in readable font, intelligence officer.
How else can you confirm?
It felt like they got the costumes at the Halloween store.
It's that attention to detail that leaves you with a hookah coal for a comment. You know, the budget's got to go somewhere.
I haven't looked into the traditions, the folkways of the Burmese people, but I just feel like at some point, like, let's just say they put the Raiden hat before the cart. They're just like, we have these Raiden hats. What else can we do?
She wants to know what he's doing in Burma. He says he thought it was Myanmar. And I just thought, Jay Peterman from Seinfeld.
No. He doesn't say, I thought I was in Myanmar. He says, I thought I was in Myanmar. It's the first time he's ever read that name in his life.
To be fair, he was reading off a cue card.
Also, he looks like jacked Zach Braff.
Oh.
Jacked Braff?
Jacked Braff.
Jack Braff, yeah.
Well done, man.
Now, there's a white comparison that makes sense, I mean.
No, it doesn't, because he looks like nothing like Zach Braff to me. He looks like his co-star, who's the dude from the Marvel movies, who we'll get to in a second.
To be fair to Alan Moosey, I don't think he was paid to read.
No. He was paid to be jacked, which he is jacked.
Extraordinary. There are multiple moments where I was like, man, that guy is jacked.
Yeah, there's a moment where I'm just like, this guy's not human. No one builds muscle like that. It's insane.
Profile, like his arms, like,
oh my God.
What are we doing here?
Size like tree trunks.
Jacked Braff.
She's being territorial, and he has no idea what she's talking about because nobody does. I have no idea why she's so aggressive here. It doesn't make any sense. Her energy makes zero sense.
Extremely chaotic. Like going from the very angry person to truly irresponsibly nice.
She's playing good cop, bad cop with herself. That's all it is. She hands him a piece of equipment that's his. He says he's looking for radiation. It's unnecessarily cryptic with what they're talking about. And that's the point where I wrote what I wouldn't give for some exposition.
Well, did the temporary tattoo that he has get revealed at this point?
It never gets brought up again.
Again, I think I saw a dragon, but not sure.
They flash that motherfucker on the screen like, oh, I better pay attention to this. I'm sure it's going to come back. No, doesn't come back at all.
No.
Not once. Blonde guy tries to take him somewhere. He beats the shit out of these guys. He's destroying everybody. He's massive.
There is a serious sexual tension going on with the bearded guy who enters the interrogation room ready to fight. He didn't enter there like, yo, I'm going to put you fucking down. He looked at him like, that's right, baby. It's prom night. Daddy's been waiting. That's the look on his face.
That was uncomfortable.
Also, is there any way to rabbit punch someone and not look funny doing it?
No. It's the worst punch.
Which is a separate move, obviously. Punch at the back of the head from hitting someone in the chin with the back of your heel while flipping forward.
Oh, no. That backward. No. Fuck you, Pablo. Fuck you and your highbrow taste. I love that. His backward. Oh, my God.
That's a badass move.
Not only did he flip to kick him, but once he kicked the dude flipped as well. Do you understand the difficulty in the choreography there? No, of course you don't. Because you sit there in your ivory tower making judgments about everybody else. That's hard.
Yeah, take a physics class at Harvard next time, Pablo. Like, if you have any idea the force you have to generate with that flip to make that guy flip, that's impressive.
It's not all theory of knowledge. Some of it is actual practical use.
You know, I did miss a lot of it when I watched it. And the good thing was that they literally replayed it because that's a thing that Jiu Jitsu does. They just hit the instant replay from a different angle. And I was like, oh, now I appreciate the majesty of the back heel front flip.
Yeah, they wanted to make sure you saw the blood they drew on coming out of his mouth.
Right. It's frustrating, too, because there were several moments in this movie where I admit I wasn't paying attention enough, and something happens on the screen. I'm like, wait, how'd that happen? And it doesn't make any sense. But the times that they just replay something from a different angle as Ed Malloy tries to figure out if it's a violation or not, like, just it was so mind-bending.
Question.
Their decisions for this stuff.
Yeah, charge. It was a charge.
Is it not more expensive to CGI blood splurting than just to have someone spit the blood or have a what they call the blood pack just explode out of? Isn't CGI more expensive at that point? But I don't.
You gotta use free. What is it? Free trade, fake blood. Yeah,
right.
Like union stuff involved.
Yeah, there's a lot of union dues and everything.
Also, today I learned that rabbit punching wasn't the, and now I know why I thought it was this. I feel so dumb.
I knew what you meant.
Isn't the quickly punching someone?
No. Oh, it's
like you're a little rabbit.
No, Pablo. Pablo, I wish I was that dumb. It was literally me thinking rapid while hearing rabbit.
Oh my God.
Because my notes say rabbit punching, and I was like, yeah, that's what it's rabbit punching. It's like when you hit someone really fast. Like, no, that's rapid. That's a different word.
The interrogator tries to shoot him up with drugs. They rip off the Game of Thrones, drop one blade to the other with the syringe. She shoots him up. Now he has a truth serum in him, and we know that because she says, you've got a truth serum.
Pablo, do truth serums actually exist in real life?
I don't think they do. I think there are like psychedelic sort of dosages that can liberate you in some respects. This is a deeper conversation, guys, around what is identity? Who are we? What is our truth? But no, I think they can make you sort of like loosey-goosey, but not like actually, like what is truth, right? Like what chemical can decide the question that has plagued humanity since its existence? Yeah.
I had the exact same thought watching Jiu Jitsu.
Yeah, Maze, I was going to ask you, what is
whiskey?
What do you use for your underage victims?
Oh, Jesus. That's going to be a real head scratcher for Pablo as we bring it back to this movie.
Truth is all in the eyes of the beer holder.
A bunch of rabid punches.
There's a bunch of rabid punches right there. All right, something about the Valley of Temples. There's plutonium.
You know what I feel like? Honest to God, let me just throw this out there. Because that is one of my dumbest moments of my life. The episode of Rick and Morty where Rick tells Morty, I guess we shouldn't take it for granted. And Morty says, wait, what? What'd you say? It's like, yeah, we should take it for granted. So, did you say take it for granted like rock? It's like, yeah. I was like, you mean take it for granted? I wish I could inject all you guys with some forget me serum.
Whoa.
And
excuse me?
Well, hold on. Now who's Anthony Mayes? Sean Jordan of the All Fantasy Everything podcast, which is phenomenal, which, by the way, I was just on.
Those frauds.
Drafting fictional.
No.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. We're starting a beef with them for some reason.
Oh, my God. What are you doing, Zach? You went on with them?
Fuck those guys.
Yeah, fuck those guys. But Sean Jordan, for a long time, thought it was throw caution into the wind, not throw caution to the wind.
No, he didn't.
He did. There's a whole episode where it's revealed to him that it's not that in the moment. It's incredible.
That's amazing.
The interrogator says there's plutonium. He's there to do a job. He says they move so fast she doesn't stand a chance. She's one of the worst actors we've had in these movies. She takes him outside for some air and tells him they're classified. And we get back to comic book panels and it says reunion. So it does break it up into chapters.
Yeah.
That kind of helped to introduce some things for us. We've got monks walking. All of a sudden, someone sneaks out from behind them. It's Tony Jaa, dressed differently than the monks. He takes out 4 soldiers without really any of the action being good. You have Tony Jaa, right? And none of his fight scenes are interesting. How does that happen?
It's a very fair criticism. I think, again, the director had a vision, and that vision involved a lot of like elaborate meta video game cinematography.
Yes.
It felt like they spent way too much time thinking about that, including when they went to the weird POV cam.
Oh, yeah.
What the fuck was that?
Oh, yeah, baby.
But not only the POV cam where like there's at one point where Jack Braff puts his hands out just to like sort of like flex his hand just to reestablish like, no, we know it's the fucking POV cam.
Right.
You don't need to put your hands in front of you. Like we've been doing this POV cam on and off because they get kicked and like they get knocked in and out of the POV cam.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like there's this relationship to like the physics of the world in jiu-jitsu to enact the POV cam.
There's a point where like he clearly just puts the camera on a tripod and then goes and does some Uncle Rico shit.
Yeah, he puts it down. But then he gets knocked back into it, and then we go back to POV.
Tony Jaa is parkouring / interpretive dancing his way through the compound. They try to do it as
Everyone has
one shot.
guns, by the way. Everyone.
But they don't use them.
Yo, I feel the need to jump in right now.
It may be car sick.
No, hold on. Note number one. I feel like anyone who walks up like that with a hoodie on, with his head bowed down, is a threat, is going to be unfriendly. And then immediately after I wrote that note, I said, oh God, is this why white people kill black people? Because I had a hoodie on and my head wasn't like up. That's point number one. Point number two.
Wait. I just want to add on to Amin's description of what the outfit is, because we got like some cut off gloves. There's just like a real like, I don't know if you guys are familiar with like Raf Simons, like just like the black kind of like we're all druids in Soho kind of like flowy robe thing. Like It's in GQ and you're like, how much are these pants? And you're like ready for anything between $50 and $5,000. Like they're patchy on purpose. Again, I think a lot of budget went to that ultimately.
That's the vibe, definitely. The second note I wrote after that was, why are they all engaging in hand-to-hand combat? Meaning the U.S. soldiers. Tony Jaa's out here kicking fucking ass. After the second guy, I'm thinking the third guy says, fuck that, I'm getting nowhere near him, and I'm just going to light his ass up. But then the third note I wrote about this scene, which runs contradictory to everything all three of you people have said, is this camera angle is badass. I love this GoPro. I love the GoPro.
No.
I was like, I'm in it. I feel like I'm kicking this dude's ass. Midway through it, I start throwing fists and let my foot go. This was amazing. And you guys really want to poo-poo it?
Let me give you my stream of consciousness here, okay? Because I got it all written down. This is making me car sick. I can appreciate what they're going for. I think maybe a bigger budget would have made this scene work. He's there to rescue the comic guy. Wait, why is this the first person POV? And his voice is muffled as he goes through the action. Oh no, this is bad. This is like one of those terrible CD-ROM games you get for a PC and hope there's a sex scene in it. How do you make Tony Jaa's fighting so bland? Wait, now it's not first person POV? Did he set up the camera on a tripod like Uncle Rico and then just beat up soldiers together? Why is it at an angle? Now it's back to being him. They should have just gotten him to pilot the Comet the whole movie.
I can throw a pigskin a quarter mile.
Putting it on like one of those like selfie stick tripods. Yeah. And because you're right, it's like, but why does the shot have to be so still? Like, why did they actually specifically artistically make the choice to emulate a tripod camera here?
It doesn't make any sense.
It's amazing.
Because he just like cartwheels into the shot.
Yeah.
I just like, by the way, that Amin was like, you know what? This POV angle of these white arms, these are my arms now.
These are my arms. Right. Pablo, of all the shit he's criticized on this podcast over 60 plus episodes, I am blown away that he's like, yeah, I'm in on this. I feel like I'm fighting. This is insane, Amin.
I'm Jake.
I'm Jake. I'm jacked like this. All right, they end up in a field. They escape. There's some kind of tech vision, predator vision. An invisible person takes out the black guy. I wrote typical. He kind of like electrocutes Jake and Juju.
Are you skipping? You're skipping.
Am I?
Skipping so much. First of all,
yeah.
Everyone pops out of a cornfield or whatever. Like this is very high.
Yeah, it's a waist high wheat field.
They pop up out of nowhere. They confront my guy Jake, and everyone's dressed alike. And I said, "Is this the League of Extraordinarily Thin Black Hoodies?" Because everyone's wearing a black hoodie, but it's not quite a hoodie because it's paper thin, and also, like Pablo said, there are no sleeves. So it's almost more like a scarf that has shoulders on it. I don't know. Then, as everyone questions Jake, what happened? You fucked up the plan. This very attractive woman with blonde hair and clearly looks like she faded the sides and the back of her hair, but it grew back black. She comes up and she hugs him very intimately, and he shoves her away. And I said, no chance I push away a random hot woman showing me affection, even if it means the end of my life. I'm letting this happen. That's how I'm going down out here.
Quarantine, month 9.
I just like how we got an extended description of her hair. Like that. Yeah, she like has highlights. Like
it's not highlights.
There are so many other things happening here.
Don't do that to me. That's not highlights. The top of her hair is long and luxurious and blonde, but the sides and the back of her hair are jet black, but not like I faded it, like I got a haircut. And not the same length as on the top. It's like I got a haircut and then it grew back, but I didn't go back to the barber since. But the blonde is still holding. That's how she looks. It is remarkable. I was infatuated with this woman. Also, gotta throw this out there.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. You're Jake, so.
My man from all the Marvel movies, he was like a member of S.H.I.E.L.D., and it turns out he's actually a member
Frank Grillo,
of Hydra. He starts talking, and I said, Wow. The Marvel movies really helped my man with the acting skills, because this is the first dialogue in the entire movie where I'm like, fuck, that's an actor right there. It was like Kelsey Grammer when we did Money Plane.
I mean, the fact that you attribute that to the gifts of Frank Grillo, and not the fact that Frank Grillo has been playing on a team surrounded by the equivalent of, like, who's a basketball player that's really bad? Like, I don't even know who to insult there.
I got a recent one. No, it feels like Jeremy Grant that just went to the Pistons. That's what it feels like. It's not good, but you put him up against these other bums, it's like, yeah, it's pretty good. He's doing it.
Frank Grillo took this role so he could throw more knives.
Oh my God. So Frank Grillo shows up, and to Amin's point, he is like obviously like the star of this movie.
He should have been Jake.
Wow. Why wasn't he Jake? Oh, no, you know why? Because he can only fucking stab people with knives. Like, he has no other abilities. He has no jujitsu training at all. Like, this dude is throwing knives and stabbing people with those knives.
Alan Moosey has worked with the director before. That's why he's Jake.
Just Frank Grillo at one point, like, throws a knife and just kind of stands there like he's like in the Choose Your Fighter screen, just like bopping up and down for a second. Just like, okay. This is not going to be on the martial arts reel for Frank Grillo's career.
So the Predator attacks them and then doesn't attack them anymore. Everyone's back. It's all fine. It was confusing to me, but they seem cool with it. As they walk away, Jeeps with soldiers roll up on them. And again, all of them, fully automatic weapons. Fully all.
Tony Jaa shows up too.
Tony Jaa's back? Yeah, all of a sudden. The black guy has like a sword staff thing. Juju has darts.
Black guy definitely is the Donatello.
Jake has hands and feet. Frank Grillo is just throwing knives constantly, like he's Danny Trejo in Desperado, like just constantly throwing knives.
I think Tony Jaa has the pipes. He has like double dragon pipes.
Yeah, like the nightsticks, right? The police nightsticks.
But made out of pipes.
Notably, there's like a real shiny like bow staff, like shiny metallic nunchucks. Even like Frank Grillo's knives are kind of sparkly. And then you just have the dude with the 2 pipes.
It's just the 2 pipes.
They call him the plumber.
My next note is, so none of these soldiers want to use guns?
No, they're so ill-equipped.
It's so bad.
They're not even stormtroopers where they shoot and just miss. They just don't even shoot.
The invisible person hits with some electric bolt stuff again. The interrogator and Tex grab Jake. Tony Jaa spent the last 2 minutes just breaking everybody's leg.
Yeah, a lot of bones cracking in the subtitles.
There's one dude, he didn't just break his leg. He broke it twice. That seems like cruel overkill. You got him. Like you got it. You broke his leg. Just move on. He's like, nope, I'm going to go ahead and one more time.
It does begin a trend in this movie of like people standing there ready for like the Mortal Kombat fatality.
Absolutely. Just finish him. If they just yelled that in the movie, I'm in. Because it also rips off Mortal Kombat throughout this whole movie.
It does.
The interrogator calls them all Jedi Knights, wants to know who they are. Jake reads his answers off a cue card saying they called him Jake and he thinks he's with them. We get a new comic book panel with Brax as the title.
Let's just say it's not about plutonium levels anymore.
Brax is also the name of the dude from Space Ghost, Coast to Coast.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Brack.
Who's also an alien. And I said to myself, no chance. 0.0% chance this is a coincidence.
This is the Space Ghost cinematic universe.
I mean, Brax also looks like Predator.
What Brax looks like is... Have you guys seen Secret of the Ooze?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Ninja.
like he looks like...
Brax.
Look, there's a real if Ivan Ooze was also in the Shape of Water kind of dynamic to the costume.
I mean, it's got real Battleship vibes. I don't know if you guys have seen Battleship.
The glowing.
Yeah. We're back in a jungle. Fake Predator visions tracking a bunch of soldiers. They're tracking plutonium levels. Jake says it's not that kind of radiation. Ricky Tran threatens Jake if he tries to make a move.
Let's just assume it is that kind of radiation. None of you fuckers are wearing radiation suits.
Not a one.
You're just out here letting that thing click, and like, oh, let me bathe myself in these gamma rays. This isn't a comic book. Go get some PPE.
You haven't been paying attention to the interstitials. It is a comic book.
At this point, by the way, I think I wrote down to myself, just where is Nick Cage? Because it was like 40 minutes into the movie.
Shit.
It's Nick Cage month.
By the way, every time in any movie or story that I read or whatever it is, there's a Geiger counter. I cannot be the only person in the world who thinks of Matt Geiger at that moment. Because that's all I could think of. It's Matt Geiger's bald head and his bright blue shining eyes. Just
counting?
Oh, he's here. They're counting him. He's here somewhere.
Fake Predators throwing shit at him. Tex is freaking out. We're getting chest cam shots of everybody. I hate that chest cam shot. I hate it. I hate it in every movie.
How do we get like the Will Ferrell in Old School being dosed, falling into the pool cam, while also making it feel like pop-up window pornography?
Yeah, the only time I liked that was in Get Him to the Greek when they smoked the Jeffrey.
I hate that shot. I never like it. I'm out on it. My next note, I guess Tex is supposed to be comic relief.
No, comic relief is the transitions that we have between chapters.
I don't know. Those are my favorite parts of the movie, I think.
Tex is supposed to be minstrel show relief.
Oh, Jesus. Tran is left in the forest. As the Predator flies out.
Future callback, by the way.
Is no longer invisible. Tran grabs a heavy machine gun, blows this thing away. It's bleeding blue shit. Its face powers off like a PlayStation.
Brax has a cataract for a face.
Yeah, if it powers back on, regenerates and takes out the gun. Tran stabs him and the Predator burns his collarbone, I think. I don't really understand what the whole burning thing was. He collapses. And then there's a comic of them running through the forest. Very cost effective. And now we're at the rabbit hole panel. And this is where we get back to Nick.
He has a piano somehow.
Jake falls into a temple or apartment or something. I don't know what that is. Interrogator gets wasted by one of those flying blades. And now we find out that Jake is in Nick Cage's home, throws a knife at him against the wall. He's smoking a cigarette. He flicks it away, which would you do that inside your own home?
I wouldn't be flicking cigarettes around my baby grand piano.
Which is definitely in there. Jake wants to know who he is. He says he's him in a few years. If he doesn't get his shit together, he says, you know me? He says, I am you.
I thought for a second maybe it was a Looper situation.
So did I.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. Me too, Mace. Don't get me wrong. I was like, absolutely, this is him in the future. But also, if someone threw a knife at me without a word being spoken, I don't know if I'm having a meaningful conversation with him afterward. Like, he seemed to give him a chance.
Well, he missed him on purpose, right? Just to fuck with him?
Yes. Yeah.
If you're Jake, does it fucking matter?
Jake doesn't know shit.
Yeah, he's got no personality. He's wooden.
Someone threw a knife at you. What do you mean? You know someone threw a knife at you.
People have been throwing shit at him all day.
I mean, I don't know if this cracks the metal stand of the why is Jake reacting this way to this stimulus.
Nick's moving like an old man, but he's killing it.
Yo, I believe I have never spotted the stunt double faster in a movie.
Oh, my God. I'm pretty sure the stunt double's Asian.
Oh, and first off, he's definitely Asian. Second off, I feel like they couldn't give him like a pillow under his shirt because Nick Cage was standing there like watching them shoot his scenes. Like, otherwise, are you blind?
He made a hat out of newspaper. He puts it on. I wrote, clip it all, Maze.
But it's a pretty good life. I mean, I've got my hobbies. I make hats out of newspapers. Look at this. You see the attention to detail? It's an art. It's a craft. But it takes time. And I got plenty of time. And if I get a little hungry, they usually throw me some food down at the valley.
The valley?
The Valley of the Temples. You don't even remember that?
Yeah.
It's where it all goes down.
And after that, I wrote Nick Exposition. Someone asked for exposition earlier. Nick Cage is giving you all the exposition that he read in the whole script right now in this scene.
You know, I'm going to have to figure out a way to smarten you up. Must have been a pretty bad fall.
I started writing down quotes. He says at one point,
He wanted you here.
Who?
The poet warrior in the sci-fi sense. The spaceman.
At one point he goes,
And it is over. Ball and net. Game match set. Checkmate.
Yeah.
I wrote, I don't know what the fuck Nick Cage is talking about, but I'm buying whatever he's selling.
shout out to the intern who transposed match and set on the cue card just off camera.
We find out the spaceman's the one who gave us jujitsu.
He's the one that gave us jiu-jitsu.
Jiu-jitsu?
He said it! He said it! He has them where he wants them. Cage does a flip, sort of. Stunt double does. And now they're doing a jujitsu demonstration. Cage says that Jake has to fight Brax in a fair way. No soldiers on the field or he'll kill him in the worst way. And this fight goes on for a while.
Brax has respect for fair fights?
I guess.
Brax has a whole code of honor, it turns out.
That he never really follows.
No.
The fight between Cage and Jack Braff is half lecture, half training, but all exposition.
All exposition. Now, I got a lot of questions answered in this scene.
But we learned what the robes do, I think, in this scene, right?
I think so.
They reveal like the robes are somehow camouflage, which will raise questions throughout the whole movie as to why you guys aren't wearing the robes more often.
Constantly. You
Like
should be
the
wearing
hoods?
constantly. Sneak up
Like,
on this
what are you
motherfucker
guys,
and stab him.
exactly, what are you guys doing? You guys have these magical cloaks and you don't ever wear them.
So we got to fight in a fair way. The fight goes on for a while. The other fighters come in.
At one point, Cage runs up on the piano to get away.
Yeah,
and
there's
I
a
love
lot
that.
of running on the piano.
Tinkles the keys.
I thought at one point we were going to get like a Matrix style of Nick Cage just kind of blocking all these punches while playing a little ditty on the piano. I was hoping for that to happen. Cage says his mind is messed up like him. And I wrote, so this shit happens every 6 years, huh?
I feel like at this same point, we're also getting the sense that people are just going to keep staying angry at Jake for forgetting stuff. Like every other scene, it's like, how could you forget? And it's like,
It's not a lot of like understanding of head injuries.
Yeah, there's a really bad one coming up.
yeah, it's like you can't remember his name and you're talking, why are you mad at him? Like this has not been established for you?
Right.
Jake has no idea what's happening.
Cage's black hair is spectacular and he wants noodles.
A noodle or a pickle.
Or a pickle. Again,
that's a palette.
Just script writing through Google Translate.
They're in a temple now. Art on the wall of Brax. It shows the portal in the temple. Jack is the chosen jujitsu. Brax must fight. That's how we got jujitsu. If he doesn't get his fight with the chosen one, he stays and kills everything. Juju and Jake have some tension. Jake says to suit him up. He has a special cloak to keep Brax from seeing him. He's given a sword. They're walking now. The comet's directly above them. They want to avoid fighting Brax in the dark. After dark, the portal closes and he stays. And Cage asks if he's puzzled. And I was like, I think we all are.
You look puzzled. Are you puzzled? I mean, I get it. I'm puzzled. I'm real puzzled.
There's a comet, there's a portal, there's Brax. Why don't I remember any of this?
Don't worry so much about what you don't remember.
Which is pretty much
The
everything.
main thing is to focus. You remember how to do that?
Maybe.
Maybe. You've been preparing for this fight your entire life.
That makes sense. Fighting that son of a bitch makes all the sense in the world.
Yeah, you gotta fight him. Even if it kills you, you gotta fight him to get your honor back. Now, Brax fights 9 fighters. Fight. And then he goes home. But if any of the fighters refuse to fight him, he devours. He devours anything that walks, flies, crawls. I mean, he destroys entire towns and villages. Now, you maybe might actually have to die. But as long as you die bravely, no one else will have to. Not for another 6 years. That is Alien Politics 5 through 15.
That is Alien Exposition 5 through 15.
Did an alien write this screenplay?
An illegal alien?
So,
Also, wait, by the way, I'm offended.
I didn't know you could get offended.
I was offended.
If I was a citizen, I wouldn't be offended.
But also, they seem so surprised that he doesn't remember the plan. Nigga, he doesn't remember any of you guys. All
Just
of
went
a
over
sudden,
that,
the
Amin.
plan is the
Amin.
line. That,
Pablo
like,
just talked about that
Amin,
for 2 minutes.
how do you not remember the discussion about not remembering that we just had? We just not remembered.
I'm so into the movie. How about this?
Smash
Hold
cut
on.
to Amin. There's just a giant piece of hookah coal just floating across.
Redirect. They have the cave art of the Predator, right? Or whatever, or Brax or whatever.
Yeah.
And I look at it and it looks impressively realistic towards what he looks like. And I said to myself, if there was an ancient community that learned about this being thousands of years ago, wouldn't they have like captured it like in the form of art that they did back then? And that got me to thinking, isn't it weird that people literally couldn't draw until like a couple hundred years ago? Like there's no new technology or anything. It's like, yeah, you got a pencil and you got like a surface you're going to draw on. Why is it humans couldn't draw right until like literally like 300 years ago? What the fuck was that about?
I just want to remind everybody this is Amin's attempt to distract from the fact that he hasn't been paying attention to our conversation for the last 20 minutes.
Oh, I'm getting another White Claw.
By insulting the entirety of like pre-modern art.
Right.
Human civilization prior to like 1600.
Jake's voice.
prior to these white arms showing up.
All right, Jake's voice sounds like everything is ADR that he says. Everything is put in at the end.
Yes.
This was Jake's plan, but he doesn't remember it. They tell Nick Cage to fall back, and we get a comic book panel from My Time. We're in the jungle now. The black guy wants to fight Brax. He stays behind with his pipe sword.
He says, "It's my time," and I finish that off with, "to die."
They kneel and bow their heads. Now it's time to fight.
It's because he has respect for Jiu Jitsu.
That's true. He respects it so much he never uses it. I don't know. There's some slashing. There's some weapons knocked away. He kicks the shit out of Brax, but Brax lifts his blade and there's human blood on it. We find out he slashed the back of the leg of the black guy. And then Brax throws his own blood at him off that blade, which I thought that's a badass move.
Yeah, super disrespectful.
Yeah.
Just classic Brax.
I'd rather you spit into my mouth than throw my own blood at me.
Is the black guy the bad guy from Stomp the Yard and Drumline?
I don't know. And I'm afraid to answer that question. This feels like a trap.
Yeah, there's no upside to me saying yes right now.
Two other fighters show up, and these guys can't fight for shit.
Not two other fighters. It's fake Chuck Liddell. and it's a modern version of Mo from the Three Stooges, who I feel like is a last-minute casting. There's no way. I mean, fake Chuck Liddell looks like he's a fighter.
I wrote that the other guy is the clone of the clone in the multiplicity version that stars Nathan Lane.
I mean, that dude, like a last-minute casting choice, that guy was holding the boom mic.
And said, yo, get in here. Tom never showed up. He wrecks fake Chuck Liddell. Other dude tackles him. He's grappling with the Brax. Then he lifts him by the head and does the burning thing, and he breaks his neck.
He was actually doing way better than I thought he would do at first. But Brax is unstoppable.
A face appears in the blue of Brax's helmet.
Yeah, what's up with this face?
I mean, you can let me know if you had this experience. It looked like, did they cast a black guy to be Brax? Like, are they just like kind of fading it in?
No, hold on. You don't get to say that. I get to say that. That nose and those eyes, like that placement, looks decidedly African American. Much in the same way that the Predator had dreads.
White guy as Brax. At least doing the stunts.
That's not a human face.
Well, no.
Well, oh.
It's also not a real comet.
Wow.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Little ink blot test, as it were.
Anthony Mayes.
Jake gets knocked out, and it's nighttime. Ricky Tran's back. He's tending to his own burn from the alien. He knocked out Jake. Jake disarms him.
Oh, no. Is that Ricky Tran from fucking
Johnny Tran.
Rush Hour?
Or Johnny Tran, yeah.
Fast and Furious. The original one.
I thought it was Ricky Tan from Rush Hour 2.
That's racist. Tran wants him to exchange info. He's been clocking Brax for 24 years for Army intelligence.
No, he doesn't.
I got a license to kill you. No expiration date.
No, he doesn't. He says, tell me everything you know. And everything I know. And I said, sexual tension.
Oh, and they had that like establishing shot of the gun in the foreground, kind of pointed phallically, just like shining in the moonlight.
It's the shiniest gun I've ever seen.
It's how my dick shines.
What's happening?
What's happening is I was going to make another joke, and I decided midway through, no, going to make the dick joke. And then midway through, I realized I had no landing spot. So let me go back to my original joke. 24 years? Did he start at age 12 in the army?
I mean, his skin is, as is typical of all Asians, flawless.
Immaculate.
No. Pablo, you look about 20 years older than he does.
I can't even be insulted because this guy was a specimen. I remember seeing him and being like, oh my God, thank you. Representation has arrived, finally.
Said he's been trying on 24 years. Like if he was 40, that still puts him at 16 when he started.
Fast and Furious was 19 years ago, right?
Shit.
19, 20 years ago?
Yeah.
He looks the same.
It got very confusing at this point for me to know how many times anyone in this movie had encountered Brax before.
When you enlist in the army, you're not going straight into army intelligence. You're doing at least 3 or 4 years of fucking bullshit for them to just weed people out.
You're not getting on Brax duty.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't get
24 years of Brax duty? Army intelligence? No.
He says the one-on-one battle isn't smart. They need to gang up on Brax. Tells Jake that his window for healing is when to take him out.
I believe this conversation was also kind of like, so how you guys attacking Brax? You guys just sort of like going one at a time, like morons? and they were like, yeah. And they were like, yeah, we should not do that. And then the rest of the movie was just them doing that over and over.
100%. Nick Cage is cooking a fish on a campfire. Says Brax is playing with his food like a killer whale. I don't think killer whales do that.
Oh, they do. They do, actually. That was one wildlife parallel that resonated with me. You can see videos of like killer whales flipping seals 50 feet in the air with their tails.
Cage knows the spaceman actually likes him, paying Jake a high honor, saving the best for last out of respect for his skills. Then Cage says that Jake disrespected Brax. He was there. Flashback to the portal opening. Brax comes through, waves off everybody except for Jake, and then he watched Brax kill someone. I wrote, Jake is an unfathomably bad actor. He threw Jake into a wall, and then Jake got up and ran away, and we're back to the start of the movie, Chase.
Lots of questions.
Are there scenes they cut of just like Brax talking in English to these guys? That was super disrespectful.
I like the idea of Nick Cage and Brax just sitting down for tea. And Brax is just kind of like, just running his fingers across the piano.
No, it's not even that. It's Jake runs out and Nicolas Cage is like terrified. He looks at, oh my God, Jake just ran away. And he looks at Brax and Brax said, oh my God. Did he just actually just run out of here?
As we all know, Brax is from the Valley? What is happening with this boy?
Valley of the Temples.
I mean, you are the same guy who was just talking shit on Reese Witherspoon, and that's your fucking California accent.
My God, Pablo. He ran away. Oh my God. Oh, Nicolas Cage. Oh, that's your son. You're proud of that. Oh.
In this scenario, he's not referring to Nick Cage as his character name. He just called him Nicolas Cage.
Didn't we all, by the way? Does he have a character name?
It's Wiley.
I'm confused. Does Brax respect him or does he think he's a coward?
Both.
I don't know which is which. Also, as Brax was coming in through the portal, that motherfucker was raring to grow. He was sprinting through the portal. I'm talking about like full on Usain Bolt.
Fucking Ultimate Warrior coming into Royal Rumble. Like, he is sprinting.
When he actually gets to the portal, he tries to act cool. Like, oh, no, I just walked up here. What's up? Oh, you guys are doing something? Like, no. You'd be all out of breath, motherfucker. You were sprinting. I saw your ass. And then finally, as Nicolas Cage is peering from behind the pillar, watching the happenings, there's definitely an element of sexual tension in his eyes. He wasn't terrified. He was kind of turned on by what was happening.
I didn't pick up on that at all.
Nicolas Cage, notably, is not only not wearing one of these cloaks, he's also just kind of like dressed. There's like a little Big Lebowski, but like if also Johnny Depp was doing an impression of himself.
I kind of think like he just came straight from the set of Primal and went right into this role.
I was stunned to look at how close together Primal and this movie are.
Back to back. Like fucking Tango and Cash in a fight. Like it's just right there. Find out that Cage fought him 6 years ago and he lived by begging for his life. There's no honor in fighting the crazy. But Jake ran and now innocent people are dying. That's on him.
So he pleaded insanity to Brax?
I think so.
Heady play.
Can I just be furious on everyone's behalf here? How do we not have that scene in this movie?
Oh.
That's the scene I actually wanted to watch by opting into Jiu Jitsu.
Yeah,
Nicolas Cage establishing that he's too crazy for Brax to murder.
Cage tells Jake he won't end up like him because he won't live through the day. Jake gets pissed and Cage says that's the way he needs to be. Tony Jaa shows up injured.
No. You forgot an important line that needs to be clipped by Mayes.
You're jumping ahead.
Okay. Just delete it. Go ahead, Zach.
Literally, my next note. There's one thing he failed to mention.
Just remember the one thing you always have with jiu-jitsu. Leverage.
The amazing long pause. The return of leverage. Ha!
Leverage? A female getting leverage.
My next note. I don't think this is how jiu-jitsu started.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, as we all know from wikipedia.com/jujitsu, leverage.
Which, by the way, leverage never comes up again in this movie. Spoiler alert.
No.
Wikipedia.com, better source than anything in this movie.
All right, we get a comic book panel for The Rabbit. Jake is running through the forest. Brax is going to fight the female fighters. Juju's kicking his ass, throws her to the ground. Other fighter attacks with axes. He wrecks her. Frank Grillo is devastated. Now he attacks Brax with knives. He gets murdered so quickly, but throws up 2 middle fingers as he gets a knife kicked through his torso.
Yeah, the double birds.
Time for Jake to fight him, but Tony Jaa goes after him. Jake runs away. And now Jake is back and he kicks Brax in the face to help Tony. Tony gets knocked down. Jake runs away again. Brax runs after him. Now Cage and Brax are fighting.
Yeah, I was unclear as to how we got to that.
Are they in a rock quarry? What's happening here in this jungle?
And also they have traps they built. Fighting. They built traps.
Yeah, they built traps, but none of them worked. Cage stabs him in the stomach, and I wrote Obi-Wan Cage Nobi. Now we got a sword fight. Cage's body is so stiff in this fight. It's so, like, he doesn't move his hips at all.
No, it's remarkable.
Do we skip how my man from the Marvel movies died with his middle fingers up?
We did it.
What conversation are you listening to right now?
That was like a good 3 or 4 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Do you have a note?
My note is, way to go out like a G. Way to go out like a G. Double middle fingers up.
Oh, that was worth the wait. All right. Cage just lifted off the ground, slammed down. Now they're grappling. Cage stabs him with a knife. Brax regenerates. And my question to you guys, is Brax kind of a pussy for regenerating when the humans can't? Is that in the spirit of jiu-jitsu?
He's unstoppable. Like, how is any of this fair or respectful?
Let me say this at this point in the movie right now. I made this note earlier, but like I forgot to keep up with it. If I had time to go back, I'd count the number of times someone got kicked in their chest in this movie.
Oh, it's a lot. Yeah.
The chest kicks. At least 25, right? Like someone not just get kicked in the chest as the kicker flips back over 360 degrees, lands perfectly, and the other person flies through the air. It's amazing.
There was one fight scene where they literally flew back like in an anime cartoon. Like someone got chest kicked and they stuck their arms and legs out and their torso in the other direction, just like flew backwards.
Cage gets wrecked, makes eye contact with Jake, points at him, nods, and smiles at Brax, then grabs his sword back from Brax, gets slashed and stabbed and cut and slashed. I think the sword kind of bends on Nick Cage's weight at one point as he tries to get up. That thing fucking buckled. He breaks Cage's back on his knee like he's Bane.
Yeah.
And then he slits his throat.
What happened to the whole let's like attack as a group plan in this specific scene? Like, why are you just watching this?
I don't know.
But they're invisible because they have their hoods up. So Brax doesn't even know they're there.
Now we get a comic book panel to a bonfire of Cage's body, and we're at a memorial. Juju explains Cage was his father.
You really don't know?
Flashback to some training. Now Juju and Jake kiss.
The reminisce is so like I was so at that moment I was like, file, I'm in, because he's like, here's your dad. Like what? And the only memory he has of his father is the silhouettes of them working out against like a cave and the ocean in the background. And I said, you know what?
Is it?
Wait, what?
Did you cut out of me?
I thought there was a hiccup in the internet connection. I didn't know.
Oh, okay.
Wait. What was Amin gonna say? Did I lose Amin there?
I lost.
No.
I think we all lost Amin,
No,
or he just
well,
stopped talking.
You know what, Pablo? Just make your point.
Oh, wait. Amin was describing how all they had in this flashback was them like training vaguely against the cave. And I was like, this is like the fucking flashback that you get as part of the frame that you buy at the store. Like, what kind of generic ass, you're trying to condense a father-son relationship into this vague ass single like shot, and then we're moving on. Like, what?
Just move right on to Juju and Jake making out as Tex and the old Burmese people interrupt. Also, Tex brought grenades.
I was like, okay, like, sick, Tex.
So I guess we're going to blow this dude up.
Future callback.
Tex is translating horribly again as Juju needs to not move with her new stitches. Brax Kool-Aid Man's his way to kicking the door open. Old lady unloads on him with some shotguns, destroys him, but he regenerates and they all run away. Now, comic book panel.
Oh, did he regenerate?
Time to die. They're back in the temple. Jake and Brax start fighting. We just get right to it. Portal might have been cracked. Jake gets slashed. Brax is kicking his ass. I wrote, I wonder if he'll be using leverage at some point, which, spoiler alert, no. My smart-ass question did not get answered the way I thought it would.
Did he use leverage to split the sword in half or turn it into two swords?
Leverage?
What the fuck was that?
That was a cool sword, it turned out.
Jake's getting fucked up. Picks him up by the throat. I wrote, is this jujitsu? As that's your father echoes through his mind. He starts fighting back. None of this is jujitsu.
You got that extra father power up. He was
did.
Oh, yes, my relationship with my dad will lead me to fight stronger.
Apparently fire is screwing up the senses of Brax.
Hold on. Let me just say right now. First of all, him flickering his eyelids as he's getting choked. And I'm so happy and so proud and so immensely satisfied that we went through this entire recap. And not once did anyone accuse of anybody in this movie of acting their ass off.
Oh, no. No.
That I get to bestow upon this man the honor. Sir, when you were flickering your eyes like that, you were acting your ass off. Oh, my God.
Was he?
He was. He absolutely was acting his ass off. And I was so
Oh, my God.
simultaneously impressed and entertained.
Unbelievable.
And I guffawed heartily at what an acting his ass off job this guy did. Because he's getting choked. And when you remember things and you get choked, you know, what do? You rapidly flicker your eye.
I gotta say, Jake, I completely forgot that Jake was also like basically remembering his life throughout this entire thing. I was just like, oh, yeah. Right. Jake is reliving a life that apparently Jake was incredibly bored by.
Incredibly bored.
Also, shouldn't the fire have played in a role earlier in this movie?
Yes.
It seems like the most rudimentary,
But also,
God damn it.
But hold on. But hold fucking on. Like, who gives a fuck about the fire when you got the cloaks? What are we doing here?
Right?
What are we doing
Combine
here?
the two. Fire cloaks.
Trans window advice of when to attack echoes through his head. In case you couldn't fucking remember that gem.
You got 5 or 6 seconds.
Portal's opening up. He slashes him up. Juju fires an arrow. He jumps on Brax. Tex tosses him a grenade in a way I simply cannot describe how he throws a grenade to Jake.
Just a good old-fashioned grenade, guys.
He puts the grenade in Brax's chest.
He throws it like someone who's never thrown anything in it.
Of course. Like, it's not even a shot put.
Hey, I'm in the army.
And I gotta say, the time between the first and second grenade makes me think that Jake may not be familiar with what grenades are either.
He lost that memory too. So he puts a grenade in the chest. It closes up. Jake flexes and then kicks him in the chest once again. Another chest kick. He explodes as he goes through the portal. And my next note is, oh no, the CGI. It's not great.
No.
Yeah, I spent a good chunk of this movie trying to come up with the right "we built this city" drop, and I just couldn't do it.
I don't think there is one. The old woman says he was born to end a 2,000-year epic, and
No one can understand this woman talking.
Hold on. If it's every 6 years and they went 2,000 years, that math does not add up. I'm not great at math, but I know that is not an evenly divisible number.
What the fuck is the epoch? I need subtitles for the subtitles.
The first person to defeat Brax was Jesus Christ.
Jesus won Brax's respect that day.
Jesus was quick to pick up jiu-jitsu. I don't know if you know that. He couldn't use that leverage to get off the cross. Spoiler alert.
Zach. I mean, he was Jewish.
All right. John is there and okay.
Is anyone here a member of the tribe to clean that up for me?
Nope.
No. Mayes? Not even a little bit?
No.
It's getting dirtier, Amin. It's getting less clean.
John shows up. He's okay. He nods at Jake. Tex emerges with alcohol.
Goldilocks and the three aliens out here.
Old woman says that the stuff is poison. Tex drinks and says, see you in 6 years. Comic book panel recap happens and we roll credits.
Tex is dead. That is my main concern of this movie. Is Tex alive or not?
You think he's a ghost?
Is Brax alive or not? See you in 6 years. Are they going to do this again?
Well, I thought maybe that it wasn't always Brax that comes through the portal. It was just one of his kind. Brax is just this year's visitor.
Yeah, is he a one of one?
I don't know.
Brax has been just like on an epic run.
Maybe it's like Battlefield Earth, and when they kicked Brax back through the portal, it went back and blew up his whole fucking planet because his planet is made out of flammable gas.
Okay.
They aren't ready for grenades.
I wouldn't mind a Battlefield Earth Brax crossover.
I was really hoping that Jake would kick through the chest of that portal and just land on Brax's planet, but they definitely did not have the budget for that.
The only trivia of note that I have is that the director wanted Bruce Willis to play Wily, but Willis was part of a 3-movie deal with MoviePass and couldn't take the role.
I got a lot of trivia, but also, you guys realize Pablo just wanted the end of Battlefield Earth to apply to jiu-jitsu.
Wow, is that? I've never seen Battlefield Earth, actually.
What? Oh, you got to, Pablo.
My friend!
Is there a Brax in it?
I mean, there's a Travolta.
Do you want lunch?
Oh, my God.
Leverage! I'm female, trying to exact leverage.
These lines from Amin would make a lot more sense to Pablo if Pablo had seen the movie.
More trivia, despite being named Jiu-Jitsu, there's no Jiu-Jitsu used in the trailer.
Correct.
Nicolas Cage is a big Bruce Lee fan, always wanted to make a martial arts movie.
Well, he's done it.
But he didn't want to make a martial arts movie that bad because he was only a part of the first 3 days of 6 weeks of shooting.
Look, man, he's churning these fucking movies out. He had like 9 movies in 2019, okay? He doesn't have time to keep shooting these.
It says the lowest rated movie with Nicolas Cage, but it doesn't explain what that means.
There's no way that's true.
Yeah, what is low rated? What is truth?
Not as low rated.
What is low rated serum?
Gets in a sword fight with an alien. He's already had a sword fight with the devil in Season of the Witch 2011 and Osama bin Laden in Army of One 2016.
Yeah, absolutely.
What movie is that where he had a sword fight?
Army of One? Dude.
With Osama.
It's a future cinephobe. That's what it is.
There's a movie where Nicolas Cage fights Osama bin Laden.
Guys.
Sword fight in 2016.
Wow.
Go ahead and find you some Army of One.
Can I point out that Nicolas Cage wanted to honor Bruce Lee, one of our greatest Asian Americans, by totally erasing the contributions of all Asian people in the creation of jiu-jitsu.
Pablo, can I ask you a question? Do you ever feel immense stress at perhaps, I'm not saying that you're there yet, but perhaps ascending to a level of like revered Asian Americans in history?
It's what I've been working for my entire life, I mean.
Have you?
Haven't you?
I will defeat the ghost of Bruce Lee.
Wait, hold on.
In a movie made by Nicolas Cage, summer 2021.
With Tony Jaa and the guy from Marvel movies.
Hold on. I'm not done with the whole erasure of Asians thing, though, because they really just did some. You know who made those pyramids? Aliens. You know who made Machu Picchu? Aliens. Not you, unwashed, non-white armed savages. You could not possibly have created the beautiful art of jiu-jitsu. No, it came from an alien named Brax. How dare you, jiu-jitsu?
Hey, Pablo, I really fucking appreciate that. I really appreciate you listening to the Black in My Day that I did on Levitar show about fucking 4 years ago. That is such a piece of flattery that I will take with me forever. So thank you.
I can't tell if that's sarcasm coming from Amin after he legitimately did not listen to any of the podcasts he just participated in and brought things up 8 minutes later each time.
Rabbit punching.
The best part was that Amin didn't remember the part where we talked about someone not remembering.
It's very meta. He gets lost at these podcasts. All right, golden dumpster time.
Well, I mainly eat out of a dumpster.
I should try that. I need some new dresses.
Don't. Or if you do, stay away from the one at Ocean and Wilshire. That's mine. Seriously. Stay out of it.
Golden Dumpster nominees. So, Pablo, this is either the best or the worst or the most memorable thing from this movie. Dumbest Army intelligence officer ever. The fat dude surprising me and trucking Brax and looking competent for a couple seconds there. Nicolas Cage unleashed for 3 days. Brax using Frank Grillo's knife. When Frank Grillo throws a knife into Brax's shoulder, he pulls out the knife and then he slashes the throat of Frank Grillo's friend with Frank Grillo's knife. We've got Brax breaking Nicolas Cage's back, Bane style, and then the father and son flashback.
Oh, man.
Oh, my God. Oh, Jesus. That's so hard to decide. I'm going to go with the fact that when Tony Jaa and Jack Braff first meet each other, Jake knows nothing about Tony Jaa, but he immediately knows to do the like arm wrestle handshake in that meme of like the black and white guy just bringing an end to racism. Like, yeah, everything you said was incredible.
Mayes, your golden dumpster?
I was really happy to see Nicolas Cage in this movie,
Same.
But we did not get enough Nicolas Cage, so I think I'm going to go with the awful father and son flashback.
Amin?
I really enjoyed the double middle fingers as the guy's dying thing. Like if I'm gonna die, I want to die like that. Like, you know what? Double middle fingers, just so you have any confusion.
Wait, I want to revise my awardee. Delete all of that. Can I give my golden dumpster to the fact that Nick Cage and Brax bowed to each other?
Because he has respect for jiu-jitsu.
You got respect.
There's a fucking code of honor.
Yeah.
The fucked up part is, I wrote that as a note, then I deleted it because I said, no, but he introduced them to jiu-jitsu, so clearly his customs are now their customs.
My golden dumpster is going to be Nicolas Cage making newspaper hats. That's got to be mine for sure.
It's an art and a craft.
Time for Phobe or File, in which we decide whether we Phobe or File this movie. Oh, Amin, you picked it, motherfucker. So what's your verdict?
I told Zach earlier, I really agonized. You know, most movies when I watch, I know fairly quickly whether it's a Phobe or a File. Definitely by the end of the movie, I know it's a Phobe or a File. This is one of the few times where I've gotten to the review part, and I'm not sure whether I'm phobing or I'm filing. But I kind of feel like I laughed enough times, whether intentionally or unintentionally, to enjoy this movie. Enough where if it were on cable TV and there was nothing else on, I'd let it rock in the background as I absentmindedly watched, maybe while doing a podcast or doing radio. So I'm going to file Jiu-Jitsu.
Pablo, Phobe or File?
I was all set to phobe this for reasons that may be clear to anybody who's listened to this podcast so far. But I don't know if I can do that with a clean conscience, because I definitely stayed around to see if there was a post-credit scene with Brax.
I mean, it is an MCU movie.
I definitely fast forwarded through my Amazon Prime rental. Like, okay, give me that post-credit scene to know that this shit is still going.
Yeah, Samuel L. Jackson is monitoring Frank Grillo's character fighting Brax. So I had to file it. Man. I would watch Jiu Jitsu too, despite it being perhaps the most racist movie ever made about Jiu Jitsu.
Jiu Jitsu?
Jiu Jitsu? All right, Mayes, phobe or file?
Oh, God. The first 20 minutes of this movie are excruciatingly boring. There's no good acting until Nicolas Cage shows up, and he's only in it for 3 days worth. The action was not quite enough for me. I'm going to phobe this movie.
Wow.
I'd rather watch Predator 7.
Wow.
Nicolas Cage is like per possession, like tempo stats out of this world, though, given that information.
It's incredible. Yeah, absolutely.
I just needed more than that.
So I will reveal now that I did not rent this movie.
Because you already own it?
What? I purchased it.
You know, Zach, I looked at it. It was only $3 more.
Yeah, it was a $6.99 rental and a $9.99 purchase. And I thought, well, clearly I'm going to love this movie. It's got Nick Cage in it. So I'll buy it.
Have you guys? So I rented it, but I rented it on YouTube. I assume you guys all found it on YouTube as well. Is that where you guys watched it?
No, mine was Apple Movies or whatever.
Oh my God. I had never rented a movie on YouTube before. There is a whole comment section. There's like a video.
Oh,
it's an hour and 42:21 YouTube video. I'll just read you a comment. Let me just scroll to the bottom here. Martial Outlaw, 14 hours ago. This movie sucked and is a total slap in the face to the art of jiu-jitsu.
I do love the idea of like some big time jiu-jitsu heads being like, finally, we got our movie. And then watching this thing.
Zach, this comment section is full of jiu-jitsu practitioners who are very disappointed.
Well, no disrespect to them and the craft that they love, but about halfway into it, I thought, I can't believe I bought this fucking movie. I just can't believe it. Like, this is, even with Nick Cage in it, this is past the point where Nick Cage arrives again. And I can't believe I bought this fucking movie. Like, this is a waste of $10. And I wish these rental options would be like, okay, you rented this movie for $6. It's now $10. If you want to purchase it, just give us the other $4, right? Which isn't the case. I would have to then go buy it, spending all new money. And I wish you could kind of roll into that.
You want to lease with an option to buy?
That's what I want to do with these movie rentals. I think that should be the fucking system. And the fact that it's not is capitalist bullshit. But I do want to say, as soon as he fucking kicks a grenade in the closed chest of this thing, I wrote, file me. I will watch this again. I'm so glad I purchased this movie. Anytime you guys want to watch it and you find yourself in Los Angeles, you know where to come.
Wow.
Man, we were a maze away from sweeping that thing.
Yeah, I feel proud of myself for preventing this from sweeping.
Wow.
I don't want this to be a positive sweep. Definitely not.
Pablo, where can our listeners find you?
They can listen to ESPN Daily. It's a podcast that is also, ironically enough, within the Space Ghost Coast to Coast cinematic universe. So
make sure that you are subscribed to ESPN Daily. Make sure that you are reviewing it and leaving good comments and positive reviews and 5 stars for Pablo.
Leave comments that are unlike, quote, horrible quality and just bad all around. Such a disappointment with an actor like Nicolas Cage.
Wow. Or leave that exact comment, but give it 5 stars on any podcast platform. Make sure you subscribe to this podcast. Make sure you're sharing it out to all your friends and all your enemies. Leave a review. It does actually help quite a bit. If you leave a review, we will continue with Nick Cage month, as our next pick is going to be something I've been waiting to do for a while, guys. It's one of my favorite action movies from the 90s. Snake Eyes. 41% from the critics, but 35% from the audience. Snake Eyes is going to be a phenomenal one that I recommend everybody watches before they listen to the podcast.
Wow. Gary Sinise.
No!
That's a comment. That's just I say the word snake eyes, and Pablo just says, wow, Gary Sinise.
You did it, man!
Next time we make love, you introduce me to Jade.
I have no idea how much time has passed. Dear God.
See you in 6 years, Pablo.
I really fell into a rabbit hole onto this piano.